Hey, this is Stacia, and it's time to do another flashcard session. And I've got flashcards I made just this month. I actually keep a monthly theme each month, and this month is called No More Petrov. But in order to do that, um, I have to play knight c6 instead of knight f6. Well, I'll show you what I mean. So, okay, in the last flashcard session, we did 1 through 5, and this time we're going to do 6 through 10. And I actually rearranged these so that 6 through 10 all have to do with my monthly theme, which is to play knight c6 instead of knight f6. And this was recommended by my chess trainer, I am Calvin Blocker, who told me that I need to play open positions. He said the Petrov will not produce positions that will help me, and I agree. So, okay, let's dive in. Flashcard number 6. What happens if black tries to take the pawn on e5? Yeah, and so I made this flashcard because this was a Scotch. I was studying the Scotch and playing against the computer. And I allowed the move e5, which I think was bad because I was planning knight g4, attacking the pawn. But here he castled. And now if I take it, he has rook e1. So that's an idea I need to remember because if I can't take this pawn, then I'm not sure what my knight's doing here. He's going to end up on h6. And yeah, so that was a losing move, that training game. Yeah, no way out of the pin, and the knight is lost. Okay, so flashcard number 7. This is another training game. It might even be the same one. I played the move knight b4, which is a losing move, and I had no idea during the game. But this is fascinating. Okay, so white has a very powerful move here, and actually, if you'd like to pause your video, go ahead and do so now. Okay, it's the move bishop g5. Yeah, you're probably looking at knight f6 check, which you should, because knight f6 check, g takes, pawn takes, queen takes. That's still okay for black. But after bishop g5, white's developing with tempo. I don't have time to take the bishop. He takes my queen. So I pretty much have to move my queen. That would be the most natural move. I don't have to, I guess. I could play f6, but never play f6. So if queen d7, I'm pretty sure the line goes knight f6 check. That would fork my king and queen. So I need to take. So g takes, and then the other thing that happens when the knight moves is the bishop hits h7. Notice the queen's coming to h5, and my queen is even kicked off this diagonal, so like queen g4 is going to be a move too. This is like a horribly strong attack, and like all my pieces are on the queen side. So I think it goes bishop g5, queen d7, knight f6 check, g takes f6, bishop takes f7 check, king takes, queen h5 check, and the problem is that I cannot block it, so I'd have to move my king. I only have 2 moves, right? I think king g7 and king g8, and then white has bishop takes f6 at the end, and I'm going to get mated. I'm getting mated. So I'm going to get mated on h8 or g7. So there you go. Let's put this on a real board, though. I think that's important because there are some other resources like f6. Let's do that. I have to pull up my training game. Yeah, I think it's this one. And okay, actually, notated it and everything. And let's put this in chess.com. Okay, I'm putting this in chess.com. And let's get to knight b4. Okay, there's knight b4. And as you can see, bishop g5 is winning here. So the line we looked at was queen d7. And I think here knight f6 check just wins. Yeah. White can even play bishop e1 if they want, which is funny. A slow move like that. But, I mean, he's forking the queen and the king, so I don't see another move besides taking. Yeah, king h8 is the best move, losing the queen. So we have to take. And now bishop takes h7, so double sacrifice. Now I take here, queen check. Yeah, I don't have any moves, so I did see this correctly. So if, let's say, wow, if king g7, bishop f6 comes with tempo, yeah, this is just, there's no way out. Checkmate, right? What do I do? Computer wants to play this. That's funny. But now checkmate soon? Let's see. I have to play something else. The most violent thing I can play. Yeah, it just gives up the queen. So let's say I play a normal move like this. Checkmate. All right, so now we do need to look at f6 though. So after bishop g5, queen e8 I think is the same exact line because this still forks here. So same thing. But f6 is the only chance. At least here the rook is guarding. And I didn't know what happens if the rook takes. So let's see. It's probably going to be knight f6. Yeah, knight f6 check. Now, if I take with the rook, I think he can just take it with a pawn. Yeah. This looks really deadly because now he's threatening f7 check. So I have to go here. Am I just done material, though? Yes, I am. A lot of material. So that doesn't work because we lose material. So there's no way out of this crazy line. Yeah, so, okay. Bishop g5. I'm going to pull the flashcards back up. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's go here. Okay, and here we go. We'll look at the answer now. Bishop g5 wins on the spot. Yeah, it's basically everything we looked at in this analysis. So next card. Okay, this is card number 7. What opening is this? This is a Lopez. And Berlin. Beverwijk variation. Yeah, because knight f6 was played, white castled, and instead of the main move taking, which goes into the Berlin ending, I'm playing bishop c5. And this is called the Beverwijk variation. So this is just a card where I'm learning my opening and learning something about it because I can't play Petrov anymore. So can white win a pawn with bishop takes c6? And yeah, okay, this happened to me in the Holiday Open. He took here, I took with a pawn, and he played knight takes e5. And the answer is no. Okay, in the game, I blundered with castles, and after that, he can just play d3, and he's totally fine and better. Pawn up. But I actually have the move knight takes e4. He doesn't have rook e1 because of bishop takes f2 check. That would be embarrassing. But queen e2 attacks my knight. So now if I try like, if I tried queen e7, he would go queen takes knight, and he's guarding his knight. But I have the move queen d5 after queen e2. Queen d5 would attack the knight on e5 and defend the knight on e4. So, and I know that's the line, so let's look at that. It says nope, and it says what happened. Yeah, Jolson showed me the line above. He's a national master, so he knew about this. So the key move, okay. And there's no f3 because the pawn is pinned. I wanted to note that. I didn't see that in my calculation. All right, so here we go. Next card. What opening is this, and what are white's moves against this? So this is a purely opening card because, yeah, and you know why I threw this in is because I played, this knight c6 move after knight f3 for the first time ever in round 1 of the Holiday Open. I never played it in a slow tournament format before. And I had this position, and I just felt lost. I just didn't know it. And I was afraid I was in theory, which I'm sure I am. Well, of course I'm in theory. And when he took here and took the pawn, I couldn't believe it. But I didn't know what else he might do. And the answer is, let's see if I recall, c3, I think, is the Zukertort gambit, is one of the main moves played here. There's also d3, which didn't have a name. Then there is knight takes e5 immediately. I'm calling that the fork trick variation because obviously knight takes d4 would fork my pieces. And I think that's a common theme in these sorts of openings. And there's also the move knight c3 that would transpose into a four knights Spanish classical variation. And yeah, and bishop takes c6 is not, I don't think it's theory, but that's what was played. I'm calling that the Holiday Open variation. Like if they play takes, and take the pawn, that's where I play takes and queen e2 and queen d5. So, okay, so I'm learning these lines slowly. So let's see. Yep, c3, Zukertort, d3. Okay, this is all correct. All right, good. And that brings us to our last card. This one says, what line is this? And, well, this is the line we just looked at, the Holiday Open line. The line I should have played, but didn't. Okay, and this card is, what are 5 possible moves against this? Yeah, because even though this is the correct way to play, and I should have had this position during the game, this still looks tough. It looks tough for someone like me to figure out not knowing this line. And let's look at what white can do here because, okay, if you're going to play queen d5, I think you need to see white's responses and have answers to them, right? So this card is just about identifying those moves in the first place. So, well, I like to look at checks, captures, and tempo moves. And in this case, I think we need to also look at moves that make sense for white, like simply, like their knight's attacked, they should probably retreat it. Okay, let's start with checks. I don't see any. The queen is lined up with the king here, but there's no way to check immediately. Knight takes f7 is probably something we need to consider here. Knight takes f7. If I took with the queen, he would take my knight with check. So I think that's actually good for white. But I have other moves. He could play knight takes f7, and I could just take it with the king. If he tried queen h5 check, I would take it. So you can't do that. If he tried queen f3 check, I could even play queen f5. And that looks good. That looks really good. So I don't think this is a good move, although I think you have to refute it over the board if it might be happening. What are other moves white can play? Captures. I think knight takes c6 is just bad. I can take it and I'm still on my knight. Even if they play d3, I think I just castle. They can take the knight back, but I think that's fine for me. Okay, what else? Let's look at tempo moves now. So there's tempo moves on the knight and on the queen here. So a tempo move, f3 can't be played because of the pin, so I do see that. But d3 could be played. c4 could be played. d4 could be played. That attacks the bishop. I doubt that's good, but that I would take it. But we need to consider lines like that because that will open up the dark square bishop and also open up the d file. So maybe he has rook d1. So yeah, d4 is probably a move that we need to consider. What else? I would even consider b4. It's a tempo move. I think it's bad. I would just take it. But it's a move. Okay, and now we got to consider the knight retreats. So there is knight f3, knight d3, and knight c4. Yeah, knight c4. So all of those are moves. All right, let's see how we did. I think I identified probably 7 moves. Let's go over them again really quick. So I saw knight takes f7. I saw d3, d4, c4, b4 are all moves to consider. Knight f3, knight d3, and knight c4. Yeah, and this is the kind of card that I'm not going to do it now, but sometimes I'll make follow-up cards because I think it's helpful to learn the next step on things sometimes, like especially something like this that has so many moves to consider. So I might make another card like saying how to refute these moves or something like that. Okay, so I'm calling this the Beverwijk Holiday Open Line. Yeah, I actually have an opening line spreadsheet, and I'm actually writing down my official repertoire now. So that was my theme this month, so I did a lot of that. I might even show that at the end of the video, in case you guys are interested. Although I'm really hesitant to show any opponents that might be watching. But then again, I don't think any of them do. They don't have trouble with me. So, okay. This is the final thing. Yeah, so knight f3, knight d3, d4, c4. Oh, did I forget knight c3? I did. So I forgot knight c3. A developing move attacking the queen. Definitely want to see that. So see, like even after all that, I still miss something. And like a move like that could be a real problem because look, it double attacks my knight and the queen. So there, I probably have to take it. Can I take the knight? I might be able to take the knight too. Knight takes, queen takes, queen takes, knight takes. He's on my bishop. I just retreat. I think I like bishop d6. Then rook e1 though. Castles. I think I'm still okay. But yeah, that's a move that you need to see as well. All right, so that concludes our 5 December flashcards. Whew. Yeah, I'm still waking up. And I will briefly show you what I've been doing with my repertoire, because I'm interested in what you guys are doing too. Like if you're also an improving player and you have some things that you do, I would be really curious to see. And I call myself. All right, so my niece and nephew call me Baba, okay? So don't make fun of me. I call it Baba's chess log. Opening repertoire. Let's look at this. Okay, and yeah, so you can see here I have opening lines. I have repertoire tree for white, repertoire tree for black. I really, really, really love Excel. So spending time organizing this stuff in Excel is very enjoyable for me. And I'm not going to show you all my lines, but see, this is actually filtered. Yeah, this is filtered too. But I'm kind of showing you like what I'm doing here. So like I'm trying to at least know the main lines of these new openings that I'm playing. And I thought I better take 1 month and actually kind of learn some of the basics behind these opening moves and do that in my morning study for 1 month. And now next month I'm going to get to it. So next year, I need to focus on calculation, visualization, and tactics. Okay, so that is going to be my focus for next year. Even when I don't know openings, I'm not going to study them in the morning at least. My morning studies will be focused on what will make me a stronger chess player. But this is my openings. You can see I have the lines here, and I can test myself. Just cut and paste these PGNs like into chess.com and see if I know the line or not. Usually I try to go through it 3 times. Honestly, I probably should be using Chessable for this. So I probably will switch to that. I used to use Chessable, and lately I haven't. Um, but I'd like to get back to it at some point. And I'll just briefly show you my repertoire tree too. So like this is well, I'll show the one I've been working on. So here you go. So I have my double king pawn arsenal, king's knight variation. So this is what I'm working on. So the knight c6 is my new repertoire. But you'll see down here, where is it? I thought I had Petrov in here. Should be in here. Oh, I grayed it out. That's why I didn't see it. So this is my old repertoire, which I didn't even detail in here because I thought I shouldn't focus on that. I should focus on my new ones. So the thing I like about doing this is it's a nice review. Sometimes I actually add in games. Like, for example, Holiday Open Pawn Grab. So I put this game into actually I didn't put the game. I put this is the game. Okay, I'm not totally sure what I'm looking at. I didn't put the game in. Thought I did, so I'll probably add that. You can see like I'm adding in like my training games in here and stuff, and here's a game from Parma um, that I learned something. So like here I'm like, oh, I played knight a5. Instead, I should play bishop takes c3 first, and then knight a5. And this is really helpful for me to have this all organized. And sometimes I just go through here and see what I need to review or what I need to work on. Like I highlighted like Evans Gambit, Scotch game, Rosentreater Gambit because I know nothing about these. I actually do know more about the Scotch game now, but I didn't put it in yet. And then, here's a bunch of other things I need to work on. So, um, yeah, it's fun doing this. I'll let you know in the future if this really, really helped me or not. It's kind of an experiment. Mostly I just enjoy doing stuff like this, I have to be honest. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back probably with another training game, but also more flashcard videos as well. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.